Hey guys, welcome back to Team Death Slinger. My name is Peter, and today I want to talk about what I'm excited for in EX9 so far. I know we're still waiting on a couple of cards, one of them being the other secret rare, which I hear is probably a Chimeramon, but I think we have enough that we can start to talk about what's coming out and what I'm looking forward to playing. So, top of my list here, EX9 Titon. We'll go through each card, read what they do, and then talk about why I'm excited for it, what I want to do with it. Titon is a Blast Ace. Blast Ace Titon is very exciting. I love this Digimon. It has Scapegoat. On play and when Digivolving, you play a level 4 or lower DM trait Digimon card from your trash without paying the cost. And all turns, all of your V4 trait Digimon gain Blocker and Retail. If you know the decks I like to play, a lot of them revolve around playing Digimon out, and this card is very, very reminiscent of almost like a Mervamon type Blastace, but a little more narrow in what it does. I think what I mostly am looking forward to abusing is that first part that says on play and when Digivolving you play a level 4 or lower DM trait. The second half of the effect is a little tricky. A little more tricky if you're not just playing strictly tribal V4. This will give all your V4 level 4 and lower. Well, I guess not just level 4 and lower, but it's going to give all your V4 trait blocker retail. And if you're trying to play just purple Titanmon, you're probably not going to have a level 4 or lower V4 trait in the deck. I was thinking about playing this with Anubis and Merva, which obviously you can't do if you want the V4 level 4 and lower suite because none of them are purple. You wouldn't be able to play anything back with Anubis. But what is really nice is you'll have blocker retail on the Titanmon, you'll have it on the Digitalmamon, on the Megadramon, and both of those play bodies back as level 5 suites. So you could take this as like a self-contained level 5 and 6 package and put it on top of a purple core, maybe run it with Merva and Anubis, and then just have the blocker retail effect on Titanmon, and then have blocker and rush on all of your retail bodies that are level 4 or lower with the Mervamon effect, and just kind of aim to do generic purple things, which is what I love to do. Probably going to run this with Alice, I think, but seems fun. You do have access to some purple DM trait level 3s. I think there's Gazimon and maybe one other. I could be wrong about that. So you're guaranteed able to play out a body with Titanmon even if you go purple core and not just DM V4 core. Which will mean that you could have Alice online to sack off the body and then get into something for free. But point being, I'm excited for this. I'm excited to see what kind of shenanigans I can do with it. And I would love to hear what you guys are thinking about with this card. Anything aside from Tribal sounds interesting. Another card I'm looking at here, EX9, a Batomon core, recently announced. This Evo is on a Batomon for 4. From the breeding area on the opponent's turn, when one of your opponent's Digimon attacks by returning 4 Negamon from your trash or your Digimon's Digivolution cards to the bottom of the Digi-Egg deck, this Digimon moves to the battle area. It has Collision, Piercing, Security Attack +1, Reboot, and Blocker. And then when moving, when Digivolving, and when attacking by placing 3 level 6 or lower Digimon cards with Negamon in their text from your trash as this Digimon's top Digivolution cards, delete all of your opponent's Digimon with the lowest level. It's kind of a pseudo Genai effect. Opponent's going to swing, you're going to want to promote this up. You have your keyword soup, and then you're going to be trying to place 3 level 6 or lower Negamon cards underneath this card to delete all of your opponent's Digimon at the lowest level, and then hopefully you'll be stopping something with the blocker. The deck has lots of 1k DP boost, so that this should hopefully be bigger than whatever the opponent's attacking with. It's just kind of cool. You're going to be trying to dump things in the trash so that you can get this online as quick as possible. Probably going to be looking at mixing this with some purple cards so that we have access to maybe some self-mill strategies like Mist Memory Boost, Darkness Wave, just filling the trash as fast as possible to get a Batomon online. But I am excited to tinker with this, play with it, and see what I can do. Really cool Digimon that hasn't had a card yet, so will be interesting to see what people actually play with this card. Another card that I'm really excited for here is Cernyan, is how I'm going to assume that's pronounced. He is the new boss monster for the Wind Guardian archetype that really doesn't have a lot going on right now. The deck is probably really barely playable. It just wants to suspend things down and then do vortex things into those suspended bodies. This is a new level 7 that allows you to DNA from a green or yellow and a blue or purple. It has Alliance Blocker. When Digivolving, you can play 1 play cost 7 or lower Wind Guardian trait Digimon from your hand without paying the cost. Then if DNA Digivolving, you may return up to 2 of your opponent's Digimon to the bottom of the deck. Already, that's a really powerful effect. All turns once per turn, when any of your Wind Guardian trait Digimon would leave the battle area other than by battle, you may play 1 play cost 7 or lower Wind Guardian trait Digimon from your hand without paying the cost. So this kind of rewards you for what the Griffinmon and some of the other new Wind Guardian traits wants to do, and that is play Digimon. You can play lots of Digimon, DNA into this. You're going to bottom deck things, which is a really strong effect because that gets around some of the lingering deletion protection effects that Digimon have laying around. So you bottom deck 2 things, and then if something dies, you just get to play back something at 7 cost or lower, which keeps your offensive pressure on the board. We do have the Puppetmon Ace as Wind Guardian that you can play with this, which I believe also bottom decks something, or suspends things down, something like that. But this is just a lot of offensive pressure. It gives a lot of removal, which is great. You're already pairing that with the Vortex and Suspending. I think this is just finally, it's going to be playable, first of all, and I think it'll be really functional and really fun. And like I said, with Titon, I love going wide. I love playing Digimon by effect. So Wingardium, doing that and then having access to probably Medieval Gallantmon's a great pair in this deck because it's going to play things by effect already. You're already in green. So it's just a natural pairing, which means I could probably play it at a little bit more of a competitive level than a purple jank deck. Hopefully, fingers crossed that the archetype is good enough for that. I do want to talk about Kakuruman Sagittarius Mode. I care about this card for a very specific reason. I'm not super interested in playing the Alter S deck, but this does evo on Wergar for 1, and then on play when digivolving, one of your opponent's Digimon or Tamers can't suspend until their turn ends. The Your Turn effect is that when any of your Digimon or Tamers with Greymon or Matt Ishida in their names are played, or any of your Digimon digivolve into a Digimon with Greymon in its name, this Digimon can digivolve into a card with Kakuruman in its name in the hand without paying the cost. And then we have a when attacking inheritable with the Digivolve 1 on one of your opponent's Digimon. The specific reason I'm interested in this is because in my Anubismon deck, I'm running the Kakuruman from the Adventure Engine. This can evo on Kakuruman for 1, and then if you play a Matt Ishida by effect, which I actually do by playing back Impmons and Anubismon, I would get to evo into the Metal Garurumon Ace from the Adventure decks for free. And then this D-Digivolve 1 inheritable is just incredibly useful. I'm sure it's going to be very useful for just the Metal Garurumon decks in general, whoever's still playing that archetype. Having access to D-Digivolve is extremely helpful for getting around Blast Ace threats or shrinking any lingering blockers that would stop you from it connecting on a check. So I think this is just a great piece of support for the Garurumon engine and for those of us who are using it in a little bit of a more jank application. So very excited for this card. And then we do have EX9 Kakuruman. I hope I said that right. We'll find out. This evos for 3 on a puppet trait level 4 or 4 on a generic level 4. On play when digivolving, by deleting one of your tokens or other puppet trait Digimon, this Digimon may digivolve into a Digimon card with the puppet trait in the hand without paying the cost. And the inheritable says all turns once per turn when this Digimon would leave the battle area, other than by your effects, by deleting one of your tokens or other puppet trait Digimon, it does not leave. So the interesting thing about this card, I think everyone's going to be playing this in Centralmon, which is reasonable. Totally makes sense to do so. I'm excited for this in basically any other application. What can you use? What does this break? I know puppet trait cards like Chessmon will be great with this. I was actually trying to think if I could do like a yellow-red base Chessmon deck so that you could run this and save your Huckmon as your level 5 base and then play out Sistermons with the Jessmon side of the engine, and then use this later in the game when you have Sistermons kicking around to get into a stack faster on the rebuild, and then you get protection where you can sack off a puppet trait like a Sistermon, which gives you a little bit better protection than the decoy trait, because if it's just leaving the battle area like bounce, you now have bounce protection instead of just deletion protection. So I want to see what other applications there are for this card outside of just Centralmon, and if they ever print a level 4 that just plays a puppet trait Digimon, this card will be cracked if they're in the same color. So excited to play around with this card and see what kind of things we can break with it. So that's kind of what I'm immediately looking at in EX9, where my brain is at. A lot of just playing Digimon by effects and doing jank with it. 4 of the 5 cards really are focused around that, and then a Bottomon core is the only like strictly not doing that kind of deck that I'm looking at. I will probably be playing it with purple, so I guess it's not much better than all these other very purple degenerate player things that I want to do with these cards. So let me know what you're excited for in the comments down below. What are you looking forward to? What's your favorite card from the new set? That's going to be it for this video. Thank you guys for watching. Have a great day.
Thank you to our channel members for supporting this channel. It's people like Langlong, Big Z11, Coffee Deus, and DigiDane who make videos like this possible.